afternoon. On behalf of the class of 2002, I would like to thank you for coming to our commencement ceremony. You guys can be seated.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Christopher Holdyk, and I'm really honored to be able to speak to you here today. And as I thought about this speech, I had a really tough time writing it. I wasn't sure whether to make everyone laugh, cry, or maybe inspire them in some way, and I'm not really sure how it turned out. However, today I know that our family, our faculty, and my classmates are gathered here. So first of all, I would like to take the time to personally thank everyone who has ever dealt with me. This is mostly my family because they have to live with me. I want to thank them for putting up with me and supporting me for the first 18 years of my life, because if anyone really knows me well, then they would agree that I'm probably the Steve Urkel of Independence High School at times, minus the suspenders and the big red glasses, of course. So with complete sincerity, I would like to thank you for possessing incredible patience and willpower. Next, I would like to address my teachers and faculty. To be completely honest, this is probably the saddest day for the lives of the faculty at Independence High School, because I think the greatest class is walking through. I don't know what they're going to do. I would suggest retiring, getting a new career, but I'm sure they've already planned that out. And now, as it goes with any speech, I'd just like to take the time to share with you some of the more humorous encounters and impressions that were made on me by specific faculty members throughout my 4 years here. I will first begin with Mr. McGarry. If anyone has ever had class with Mr. McGarry, then they know that he is infamous for sort of putting his leg up behind his desk and standing on one leg. And I must have missed him at orientation, because the first time I ever saw the man was when I had class freshman year, the first day. So he's already standing on his one leg behind his desk, and I walk in and I'm thinking to myself, where's this guy's leg? I mean, what's the deal? And I must have been dazed too, because I'm looking for it and I'm thinking to myself, no, I would have heard something if he only had, if he was missing part of his leg. And I figured, if anything, he would have went with a pirate look and put a little wooden stump or something to that nature. So I eventually figured it out, he didn't say ahoy mateys or wear an eye patch, but he wasn't a pirate. And he turned out to be a very good teacher and a darn good person. He just happens to stand like a flamingo, and I thank him very much for that. Next person I'd like to talk about is Miss Baird, the French teacher at Independence High School. From a personal standpoint, I took 4 years of French total, so I guess that's supposed to make me the master, apparently. But I didn't take French as a senior, but I still find it amazing that to this day I only remember 2 phrases in French. One is taisez-vous, which translates to shut up. And the other is kind of interesting. It's le fromage est mon ami fantastique, which translates into the cheese is my fantastic friend. But I really enjoyed just talking to her. We go on all sorts of parallels and get off the topic, but I really enjoyed just reflecting on life with her, and I'm really sorry that the younger classes won't get a chance to have her as the teacher. Next, of course, I'd like to talk about Dr. Bloom. I can still remember the very first time that I met her, or at least encountered her on a one-to-one basis. It was my freshman or sophomore year when we were figuring out next year's schedules. A lot of you people are probably familiar with the soup Nazi character from Seinfeld, who was infamous for saying, "No soup for you." So anyways, I'm walking into her office expecting to see my schedule for the upcoming year. However, when I asked Dr. Bloom, I remember her in an almost mechanical fashion saying, "No, I'm sorry, we can't show you your schedule. If I show you, we'll have to show everyone, and we can't have that." So I'm a little stunned, I'm a little shocked, but in my head I'm picturing a whole mass of people just thundering towards Dr. Bloom's office and mobbing her for their class schedule. So I was like, okay, I better back off. But it turns out I got to know Dr. Bloom very well, and she filled out about 1 million applications for me patiently. So I'm very gracious for that, and I probably owe her infinitely for that. But I think it's funny that I used to think of her as the schedule Nazi. Another one of the more impressionable figures at Independence High School was, of course, Mr. Farson, the history teacher at Independence. I never had him personally as a teacher, but I think he really has a lot to offer the high school. And one of the most vivid and fitting memories of Mr. Farson was during baseball season, when he would often give our players a little head bob and shoot the little gun. He'd be like, yo, give him the little gun. And I was like, what is this guy doing? I kind of pictured him and said thinking to himself, I'm Brian Farson, the ladies love me, yeah. And, that sticks out in my mind, and I've had about 20 or so male teachers in my life since kindergarten, and I would still have to vote Mr. Parson as most likely to become a pop star in a boy band. Out of everyone, I really think that if the whole principal thing doesn't work out for him, then he can rely on his good taste in clothing, which is mostly Polar Tech vests, and rugged good looks to become the next Justin Timberlake. At least that's my opinion. Finally, we have Mr. Wells. To many students, Mr. Wells might seem like a bitter, sarcastic, and disgruntled man. And he is, don't get me wrong. But, no, I'm kidding. The man really loves what he does, and I really respect and admire him for that. I pray that I'll find as much happiness and satisfaction in my job that he got. But in addition to this, I'm also indebted to Mr. Wells because he was responsible for giving me advice on how to obtain the perfect male physique, which according to him is doing a stair and exercise workout for about 15 hours a day and drinking gallons and gallons of Pepsi One. Not Diet Pepsi, I don't think the 1 calorie helps it. And I'm certainly going to miss him, his sarcasm and his insight. Throughout high school, it's been a real challenge for me. It's been difficult at times, and it caused me a lot of stress. I think I have a higher risk for male pattern baldness, and my hairline is receding. But if you want to know more about baldness, you could probably talk to Mr. Gallagher later. But honestly, as I look back, I really forget about all the struggles and the low points, and I only remember some of these funny and fond memories. And I think this is because of the superb faculty at Independence High School. In a person's life, there might be 1 or 2 individuals that really break through and motivate and guide an individual. Knowing this, I really feel that everyone here graduating is blessed because they've done this already. They've been good teachers, but more importantly, they've been good people. And I thank them for being that above all else. And now I have just a few words of wisdom for my classmates. From the oftentimes distorted perception of Chris Holdyk, I see life as just a series of choices, opportunities, mistakes, and successes. In our class right now, there might end up being a couple of millionaires, there might be a famous sports writer, maybe a general, who knows. But I'm not really sure who's going to be the most successful, because the trick to success in life is getting what you want out of it, and that's going to vary from person to person. Always remember that not everything that counts can be counted, and not everything that can be counted counts. It's about looking back without regrets and being satisfied with where you are in life. I thought about telling everyone to sort of reach for the stars, reach for your dreams, but I'm not really sure about that either. Rather, I think that every person has aspirations as well as limitations. While learning from your mistakes is nice, there are some things that can never be recovered once they're lost. This past year, my grandfather died, and I like to think that I shared a lot of great memories with him. But even now in the back of my mind, I think to myself, wow, I could have known so much more about him. And even as I stand here right now, I'm feeling scared, sad, happy, but always, 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 the emotion that dominates my existence is that of uncertainty and confusion. I think that perhaps Anthony Orlando said it to me best when we were talking online about college and the future in general. He told me, you know what, Chris? I'm just trying to figure out where I fit into this world and what my mission is. Thus, as we separate here today, I mainly encourage you to just think about what you want out of life and where you might find it. Aside from that, I'd just like to take this time to thank each and every one of you for making the last 4 years of my life, well, one continuous and giant party. I probably only attended about 5 or 6 parties, but it was a blast for me. I really appreciate everything. And I don't think you guys were the lucky ones. I think I was the lucky and privileged one to be part of this class and get to know you guys. I believe each of you has what it has to take, what it takes, or will get what it takes to succeed. May God be with you all and find whatever you seek in life. Thank you.
Family, administration, community members, friends, faculty, and especially the class of 2002, I thank you for participating in our commencement ceremony today. Each of us can remember back 4 years to when we graduated from 8th grade and left middle school. We can remember, if we try hard enough, how exciting it was to say goodbye to the middle school and end grade school. But if we only knew what high school really entailed before us, did any of us realize that it's only the beginning of harder work, bigger headaches, and more demanding schedules? We were not concerned with that, though. All we could concentrate on was the end of middle school. The end. If there's anything that 4 years of high school has taught us, it is that nothing ever ends, and instead, the end is often the beginning, only in disguise. When you thought that an algebra problem was done, you realized you forgot to use its fraction. Or when you thought your English paper was finished, you realized you forgot to restate your thesis. Just when we allow ourselves to think high school is ending, we realize that our education is only beginning. For many of the members of the class of 2002, that beginning is college. For some, vocational school or the military, and yet for others, the beginning of a career. However, any route in which we as individuals choose to take, the one common thread that will forever remain the same is that our education is only beginning and will never end. Today, commencement should not be looked upon as the end of high school, but as the beginnings of the rest of our education, where we will continue to learn and to develop. Each of us will continue to learn after we step out of this room today. The content of what we may learn may differ in some ways, but what is important is that it will never end. Some of us will learn how to calculate the circumference of Jupiter. Others will learn how to clean teeth with braces. Some will even learn how to make a cubicle look more at home. And some will learn that you cannot drive a car with a flat tire. Hopefully all of us will learn what makes life worth living, how to respect one another, and how to adapt to the sometimes cold and bitter world out there. Whatever the content may be, the fact that we are learning binds us together and makes us stronger. Recognizing that we will continue to learn the rest of our lives, despite the road we choose, opens doors for growth and development. The byproduct of learning and of education is development, perhaps the most important thing a person can do. Each of us has grown tremendously since our first day back here in August of 1998, and that development, along with education, shall never cease unless we give in and allow it to. It is our duty as human beings to grow and to discover, to recognize and to change. Otherwise, life would be a waste. Now, upon the threshold of the rest of our education, we have the chance to learn and thus to grow and develop whom we want to become. Hopefully, we will learn from our mistakes in high school and better ourselves as individuals. Hopefully, each of us will walk out into the world to seek personal improvement, for it would be the greatest tragedy if we did not. Education is our tool, our weapon, our defense, and our only hope in life. When looked at in this light, I thank God that it never ends. For what or where would we be without it? Maybe true education does not come out of books. Maybe it stems from experience. And for many of us, those experiences are yet to be had. So, class of 2002, I wish each of you the most sincere best of luck as we embark on the exciting, new, and sometimes scary threshold for the rest of our education.
Years from now. 20 years from now, where will we be? 20 years from now, June 2nd, 2022. We will almost be twice as old as we are today. Some of us will have found spouses and be raising families of our own. Most of us will have purchased a home. And all of us will have made career choices and be well on our way with the rest of our lives. Over the next 20 years, we'll be faced with many choices, challenges, and decisions. Some of those decisions will be easy, while others we'll spend much time agonizing over the choice we should make. What decisions will you make? Where will you be? 20 years from now, I cannot say with certainty which path in life any one of us will have followed. I cannot tell you who will be a brain surgeon, or who will design clothes to appear on models on runways. I cannot tell you if one of us will cure cancer, become a brain surgeon, a parent, a teacher, or a mentor. But I am sure that when we look back on our lives in 20 years, we will see all of the consequences of the decisions we have made and the opportunities which we have pursued.
Only New York.
Already in my 18 years, I've learned that life is full of challenges, choices, and opportunities. It's the choices that I make that are important. It's not always easy to decipher between right and wrong. I'm not always sure in which activities I should partake and what I should refrain. I've come to realize that I will mess up, like I just did. But what is important is that I learn from my mistakes. I understand that there are only 24 hours in a day. And how I spend those hours, it's entirely up to me. How you spend your hours, it's all up to you. It's made me think. Life, it's short. In the next 20 years of our lives, they're going to fly by. Yet they will be the most crucial, critical, and important years of our lives. And it is in these upcoming years that we will make many choices and decide which opportunities to pursue. My suggestion to you, my classmates, is to take advantage of every opportunity. We only live once. Let's make the most of our lives. I challenge you to live life to the fullest, to smile and say hello to people you meet walking down the street, to travel to some faraway and exotic place, to do something, anything at all, that you do not think you're capable of. Do not be afraid to be the only one laughing, and don't do all the talking. Listen, really listen to the people in your life. Go ahead and cry, speak your mind. Do what you believe to be right. Do not follow the crowd, and realize that change is going to happen, and it's not such a bad thing, so don't be afraid of it. Do what you believe to be right, and take chances. Put your whole heart and soul into everything you do. And, above all, everyone, remember this. Life, it's meant to be fun. Today, June 2nd, 2002, is the beginning of the rest of our lives. Make the most of it. Today, we're young adults graduating into an uncertain future. 20 years from now, we'll be well into our lives, and the die of our future will have already been cast. Who knows where we'll be? But the decisions that we make and the opportunities that we pursue or decline along the way, they're entirely up to us. Take advantage of them all. Don't regret the chance that you didn't take. And when you look back, know that you have lived, that you've taken chances, and when opportunities arose, you seized them. As long as you do that, no matter what career you choose, whether you marry or you stay single, whether you have no kids, a child, or 10, whether you have lots of money or just a little, you will be successful. You will have succeeded. To you, my friends, the class of 2002, I wish you all the fun, success, and happiness you can handle. Perhaps Mark Twain said it best. 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than the ones that you did do. So throw off the bow lines, sail away from the safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sails. To you, my friends, explore, dream, discover. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. And I just want to tell you, first off, that I can't guarantee that I'm not going to cry, so you're going to have to bear with me. Jane Mydral, a German philosopher, once said, "Graduating is not just seeing the new, it is also leaving behind. Not just opening doors, also closing them behind you, never to return. But the place you have left forever is always there for you to see whenever you shut your eyes. It is these words that ring throughout my ears as I begin to contemplate the magnitude of the next journey that we are all about to face, life. It is a time of change, where all our yesterdays become the only link to Independence High School, forever etched in our memory as the bubble, a place we've all called home through the late nights of sporting events, sports practices, club meetings, band and vocal concerts, and the endless hours that we've all spent in these classrooms. Although this may seem an end, it is definitely a new beginning. The obstacles and conflicts that we will all encounter outside of the bubble are definitely going to be a challenge, as the world might just not be ready for the class of 2002. However, the new places, faces, and barriers that we will all have to overcome are definitely going to be a challenge, and somehow we will all find a way to accomplish all of our dreams, no matter how big or small. The things that we face in the real world are not what we are used to, and only with perseverance, a positive attitude, and determination are we going to accomplish all that we want. It is now that we have the chance to accomplish all of our dreams and goals and show everyone what we really can achieve on our own. It is now that our strength, work ethic, and character are put to the test. It is now that we have the chance to construct our own individuality and become the people that we know we are. From this day on, we must take what we have learned from our parents, teachers, administrators, faculty, and friends, and apply it. It is the time when we are able to make those words of wisdom come to life and act upon what we know. And you thought we never listened. Today is a stepping stone for most, a bridge for others, and a barrier for few. But no matter what lies ahead, we must all believe in ourselves and grow from our mistakes. The road will definitely be rocky, but we must never give up hope. Part of succeeding in life is the ability to believe in others, to believe in yourself, and to believe in your faith. However, with all of the new beginnings, a major chapter in all of our lives is closing. But it is not a time for goodbyes, it is a time for see you laters, as we all know that although some doors are closing, the possibilities are endless behind the doors that we are just opening, leaving only with the awesome memories that we have all left here upon these hallways. And hopefully someday, we will all find ourselves reaching back into the past so that we may connect with the lifetime friendships and bonds that we have created over the past 13 years here at Independence. So it is true what our motto says. There will be a time when everything is finished. That will be the beginning. Because we may be finishing our high school, but our friendships and our new lives are just beginning. It is now our chance to sit back and reflect on the past while embarking on our new journey beyond the bubble. Friends, family, administrators, teachers, and the class of 2002. I would like to leave you with one final thought. I'll see you later.